Welcome to the podcast. The Aging Queen. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. And welcome back to another wonderful episode of The Aging Queen. We're here with the usual suspects, Robbie from Madrid, Spain. Hey, Robbie.
Hello, hello.
And we got James, Columbus, Ohio.
Hello.
It's been a while. We took a little break for summer, huh?
Yeah, I feel like everyone had vacations.
Yeah, I did. Robbie did. Robbie's been all over the place.
Yeah. And so is James.
Where'd you
Who's
guys
that?
go?
Birthday.
Just a little
Happy
quick recap.
birthday.
Yeah. Oh, happy
Thank
birthday,
you.
James. Mhm.
Thank you very much. It was fun.
Tell us about you, birthday boy.
Oh, okay. Well, gosh, so I had to actually travel for work starting the week of my birthday. My company is headquartered in Tampa, Florida.
Hey.
So they
Go
made pretty
Gators.
much all of us come down to Tampa from Monday until Thursday, which was my birthday. And originally, I'd planned on going to see some of my best friends who live in Austin, Texas. But then I had to change plans so that instead of spending the week there, I flew from Columbus to Tampa and then worked for most of the week. And then on my birthday, I flew to Austin and hung out with my friends until that following Tuesday, which here in the United States, of course, it was a holiday weekend. It was Labor Day weekend, so I spent,
That's
Labor
right.
Day weekend in Austin. My friends, it, I was so surprised. Well, I knew they were gonna take me to dinner, but what's really surprised me was that my one friend, he's great at organizing, he made a dinner reservation for me and my friends that he knows in Austin like 2 months in advance. Like he told me, he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm really hoping that you like this place because I made the reservations 2 months ago. And I was like, wow. Like I can't imagine making reservations 2 months in advance. So I was just really just I was just I was really flattered
That's
that they went
great.
through so much trouble, and it was amazing. Like the restaurant was fantastic. It was Italian food, and we had a wonderful time. Like everything was just so good. And then the rest of the weekend with them was actually pretty chill. Like we had talked about going out and doing some gay events because it was also like it was it was called Splash Weekend in
No.
Austin. um, we didn't actually do much for it. I think the only thing that we went to one bar, which is like sort of like the bear sort of bar, which I thought was kind of funny. But but we also realized that most of the other bars that are really like trendy were going to be like crazy busy, and we just didn't feel like getting involved with that madness. So it ended up being just a really fun and chill experience. And then on the Monday that I was there, I did go to the gym with two of my friends who they go to it's a very nice gym in Austin. It's very trendy. There are some very hot people that go to this gym.
Ooh.
And
Goodness gracious.
I did this class with them, and
I just wanted to add that.
I just thought I was gonna die. But yeah, there were some very attractive people, like really attractive people at this gym. I was like, wow, like I can see why you go here. Um, and then
Yeah,
I
they always put them for some reason. I think they do it on purpose. They position like the equipment that attractive people use. They put them in like the windows. Um,
no, this gym it's a really just this is like where I guess if you're young and just
it's what.
I this is like the trendy gym, like
You're saying they're
I
all hot.
most of them were. It was really crazy. Like it was really like
See,
it was
those kind
they,
of
like
gyms are intimidating because I feel like you already have to be in shape to be in those gyms.
You
And it
know,
that defeats the purpose of a gym.
right, and that's one of the reasons why I don't go to a gym like that. I mean, while it was nice to sort of go there and see that, it was just like,
Right,
wow. It was like, okay, this is pretty crazy that, like these people are so attractive. And then like
right.
my actual favorite part of the gym other than the people was that they had this cooler. They had like a refrigerator and they had cold towels.
Hmm.
So like they would wet these towels and then they smelled like Vicks Vapor Rub. That's the only way I could describe them.
Oh,
So
geez.
like after like a workout, I seriously like my friends like, "Oh, cuz I was sweating. Like I was just dripping with sweat cuz we did this class." And my friend was like, "Oh, they have cold towels. Here, let's go grab you one." So I grabbed one of these things and put it on my head and I was like, "This is just the best thing ever." Like
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to just
Yeah, it's like the
uh
warm towels at the barber shop. It's the
oh
same.
yeah, like this it was absolutely amazing. And then um I and then after that, of course, like I went home. Now I'm not going to like like I said, I loved it. It was a great time with my friends. We had so much fun. And then I got home on that Tuesday, and then this past Saturday, so I was literally only home for a few days, and then this past Saturday, I had to drive to see my dad and my aunt, who I
Mhm.
haven't seen in years, um, because my father was celebrating his fourth year of being sober. And
Nice.
so that was a big deal, and he wanted some family around him. And so
Has he
my aunt.
changed? Did you feel that he's changed since he's been sober?
So it's really interesting because like my father and I we don't have the I guess we don't have what I would consider an ideal relationship because of course drugs and alcohol, like when you're an addict, um it affects everyone in your life. And
Right.
so
Right.
so because of that, I always had a negative a negative opinion of my dad because people would tell me stories and none of them were ever positive. So and that was pretty much, and then my own personal experiences with him were not positive experiences. So going to this NA meeting with him and my aunt and seeing how the people there, how he's had such a positive impact on people in that group and in that community, that it was just kind of eye opening that his life hasn't been all bad. Like he's doing something positive, which was great. Like I was actually I told him like I was really proud of him, um
That's
which was
great.
a big step for me because like that's not something I ever thought I'd be saying about my dad, is that I'm proud of you.
I'm really
um
sure that he that night cried because hearing that from your son is, I think it would be very special.
I would say that I definitely felt that because while I was talking to this group, because everybody has a chance to talk, and basically everyone in there was basically saying how he's impacted their lives positively, and then I spoke about basically thanking them for being his support group and other things like that, while I was saying what I was saying, and and told him that of course that I was proud of him and congratulated him. That he put his arm on my shoulder, which I have never actually experienced. Like I've never. It's kind of weird. Like most people, when they think of their dads, they think of their dad and they hug their dad, and their dad's there to give them like that positive support and stuff like that. I
Right.
don't. I don't have that. And it
I
wasn't
don't have that.
But
until
did you ever have
right,
that when
right.
you were little?
When I was so it's actually kind of funny. Like when I was very small, I was very affectionate, and I still am I can be very affectionate, and I was of course very affectionate with my dad, but it was the late 70s and early 80s, and I guess I remember at one point in time my dad, like I had hugged my dad and my dad was like, okay, you're getting to be a big boy, you need to stop that because men don't do that.
Yeah, be a man.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
That whole toxic
Toxic
masculinity,
masculinity.
right? Right, exactly. So I distinctly remember that lesson, and I distinctly remember that's kind of when, I guess you had to man up and I couldn't be as affectionate with my dad. anymore. But then, of course, like for most of my life, he hasn't physically been there. Once again, going back to being an addict. So, yeah, so it was good to see that he is, he's not all bad, that he is making doing some positive things, and he
Yeah, he's
actually, so
growing.
yeah, so like, and then of course, like when you every year that you're in the program and you are sober, they give you a coin.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so my dad gave me all of his coins. So
Oh.
he was just like, I want you to hold on to these coins for me
Oh
so that
no.
you can, kind of as a reminder that I'm, obviously not all that bad. And I was like, of course.
Right.
So I have his sobriety coins.
Oh
Oh.
man, that's great.
So yeah, so that
Oh, that
was
gave me goosebumps. That's such a
right.
good share. Thank you.
You're
Oh,
welcome. That was literally yesterday. Like
The only
wow.
thing Robbie's giving me is
yesterday.
heartburn.
Yeah.
So
You get
now I'm
coins.
back. Yes.
Great.
That's
Yes. So
great. That's amazing. That's a special story we needed to hear. I think
Oh, I
that's
love
fantastic.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to have stories like that. Ugh,
I
that's so
hope that you do
inspiring.
one day. I
Thank
really no,
you.
but and that was honestly the thing that so like because I have never been to like an NA group or an AA group, and that was one of the things. Like I just thought, yeah, I'm gonna be here for my dad, but so many people were telling me, they were like, you don't understand, like you give us hope that one day our families
We'll have.
will
Right.
will like support us in the
Mm-hmm.
way that you just showed up for your dad. And I was
It
just like,
is.
oh, like for me, I was like, I didn't think of it in that way. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've never
Was
been
this
to one of those places,
was this also a moment that you've made peace with him and with your past, or did you already go through that?
There are I did make some peace. There are some things that people do that are just unforgivable,
Mm-hmm.
but for the most part, yes, I do feel that I made peace with a
Good.
lot of things.
Yeah.
Yes, for
I
sure.
have I actually talked to my aunt today, and she's a divorcee. She divorced many years ago. She has one child with her ex-husband, and her ex-husband never really gotten along. So they divorced many years ago when my cousin was very young. But my cousin now has two kids, and she has a relationship with her father and with her mother, my aunt. So my aunt and I were talking, and she was saying that my cousin, her daughter, wants both of her parents to be around her kids so her kids can see them together as their grandparents. And my aunt hasn't seen her ex-husband in years and doesn't really have any kind of relationship. They barely talk even when there's some kind of family event. So, but the point of this story is that it's about forgiveness. I told her that, whatever happened in the past should remain in the past for her own sanity and for her daughter's sake, and her grandchildren's sake. Um, that she should forgive him, and that way she can move on to another chapter. It's hard, especially when you've been hurt.
I mean, if that's what a mother wants for her kid to have the grandparents and together, if that's her wish, then that's her wish. I think there's plenty of people out there that never had that experience, like me on my dad's side, never knew his parents, and I turned out, well, never mind, I didn't turn out that great, but I mean,
He turned
so
out great.
some people can turn out great. I don't know who they are, but I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that turn out great if the grandparents aren't together, or they're not seen together in the same room, or if they never meet them.
Right.
It's a pipe
Right.
dream, but if that's what she wants before anybody, um, goes on into the next life, then that's her wish. Then, and if she thinks that's attainable and she wants to bring that up, then it's a hard step, but maybe it might be achievable.
Might be, but one thing that I've learned, like especially like with my parents, is th- that needs to be a conversation. Like you just can't say like I would never just invite both of my parents to be at the same
Surprise.
place at the same time. Yeah, I just know that my like my with my parents' history, um, they would know. Like that there needs to be a serious conversation about like are you okay with being in the same space at the
Mm.
same time
Oh yeah.
with just because yeah. It's just I've had this conversation before and I know what I won't say which party, but I'll say one party is
But
usually okay with it, but the other party is usually questionable.
there comes a moment where so many years have passed that for your own health and sanity, it's time to bury the hatchet. I mean,
But
you gotta move on. I'm not saying that they have to be friends again, but when it comes to spending an hour once every 2, 3 months just for the sake of their grandkids, I mean, I think they should do it.
Maybe.
once again, like I said, some things are unforgivable.
Hmm.
Right.
So
If that's the situation, yeah.
right, exactly. So it's just kind of like if it's that situation, then the idea of those people being in the same room might not be as easy as you think.
The point of the story is forgiveness, and I think um, you have to forgive yourself for the past and things that you didn't get right, and forgive others that may have hurt you. And I understand what you're saying, James, that some things are unforgivable, and I agree. But they say that just don't forget it, but you should forgive. There's people that have even, forgiven murderers. There's all these court cases where the family comes out and they forgive them because when you carry that anger and that spite in you, it builds and it grows something really negative in you. So it's not forgiving because you actually let them off the hook. You're forgiving them because you pity them and because you don't want to attach yourself to that negative emotion. Does that make sense?
Oh
You're
yeah.
letting
No,
them
Yeah.
free. You're letting
I can't relate to that.
you're pi
No, I
you're
can
you're
heal
kicking
in
them out of their
hell, and I'm not
brain.
forgiving.
Well, you know, that's what
I
they
can
say, the
I was gonna
gurus.
say I can be very forgiving, but I never forget.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't
Most
forget
certainly
either.
not. Most certainly not. Like I might forgive you, but you will never put me in that situation again. I don't ever allow that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's always the ones that have, the it's always the close ones that screw you. Um, but anyway,
And
I
that's why
think
chosen family is so important.
it is.
I
It
agree.
makes it easier to cut chosen family off as well once they double cross you. I'm kidding. No, I think chosen family is really
Rob's
important.
got a list.
Oh yeah. Ooh, I got binders full of people. I'm kidding. No.
He's got a card catalog. He's Dewey
A
Decimal System.
Rolodex.
He's got a hit
Dewey
Got
list.
Decimal.
people
Yes.
people who are cut off.
Oh
Yes.
god.
I got my block list. Oh gosh.
Jeez. You know what? Next episode's gonna be with Dr. Kristen about mental health. Maybe we should bring Robbie on there. He's got like
You're gonna have to drag me on kicking and screaming.
Like, is she a
No.
therapist? Can we have a group therapy session? That'll be fun.
Oh
Yeah, I
wow.
know. She's more like our savior. She's the only one that makes sense is Dr. Kristen. Listen, Robbie, so tell us a little bit about your shenanigans. You've been traveling a lot, especially to the east.
Oh yeah.
Do tell.
I went to Riga, Latvia, flew there from Madrid. It was about 4 hours.
Nice.
It was great. Honestly, I think Riga has lots to do. N- And then after that, I took a train 4 hours to Vilnius, Lithuania, the train was wonderful. And
Tell us a little bit. Describe it. Was it like one of these
it,
old school communist trains?
oh goodness, no. The train station in Riga did give off post-Soviet vibes, but
Hmm.
the clock tower in
That was
Riga
Budapest
was
too.
so iconic. I only flew into Budapest years ago. I hope it's gotten better. But no, I think Vilnius as a city has more things to do, but Riga as a city, I just prefer. I think it's really cute by the bay of the Baltic Sea. I think the temperature was a lot better. The weather was a lot better. I think the infrastructure was a little bit better, but Vilnius is more hipster. It's more underground, a lot of partying. They've got a neighborhood called Uzupis, which is like a touristy kind of um, neighborhood. It's not gay
Hmm.
or anything, but it's like an independent republic where it has its own history and it declared independence from the rest of Lithuania. Obviously not in real life, but it has its own constitution. You walk up and down the street, you see signs saying that it's a different republic,
Are
and
they famous for anything?
um potato pancakes. Oh, I ate
Ooh,
them every day. Oh, they were so delicious.
yum.
Dumplings called zeppelins. Oh, my husband had those. Those were really good. Um, yeah. And
Nice.
then after that, we flew to Oslo. We flew Ryanair, and it was not bad. But because I bought the priority lane tickets,
Mm-hmm.
so that I mean, that was an experience, but no, the airport in Vilnius was nice. Not far from the city center, so a taxi was not expensive at all.
Mm-hmm.
Then flew Ryanair to Oslo, and wow, that was expensive. I told my husband, okay, in Vilnius and in Riga, this is the time to drink. This is the time to eat out in restaurants, because once we hit Oslo and Gothenburg, Sweden, we are not eating out in restaurants. We are
Yeah.
not. You are
Give us an
not
example.
drinking alcohol.
How much was a beer?
When I went to Norway 10 years ago, a
Hmm.
beer in a supermarket on an island off the coast called an island called Utsira off the coast of Norway.
You watch your
Okay.
language.
uh, it, it it cost the equivalent of around 10 euros.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a drink in a bar must be starting off at 10 euros depending. We didn't even go. I went there for a friend's 40th birthday party in Oslo, and they wanted to go to karaoke afterwards, and I was just like,
You're
no.
like, I gotta take a loan out for this.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, no thank you, I'm good. We're going to
Well,
bed, see
that's
you guys in the
that's
morning.
why
But
I don't travel for. I've missed so many weddings in such nice exotic places, but y you know, it's almost selfish to invite people to these things because
kinda, yeah.
you're putting them in the most exotic, far away place. Okay, one of them was Vermont, but anyway, it's still hard to get there. And um, you're gonna spend a pretty penny to get to these weddings. And it's fine when you go to one or two, but when all of them are kind of like that, and you're spending 10 grand, it's a lot of money, you know.
Yeah, miss me with that. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like if
Especially if
you
it's 50-50 that the marriage is gonna last, you know?
you get your
you know,
money back if it doesn't last after 5 years.
I was gonna
Ooh.
say I feel like if you have to travel for a wedding, then you probably shouldn't have to buy a gift.
Oh,
Oh
hands
yeah, that's
down.
another thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hands down,
Like if
yeah.
yeah,
If I'm
like
if
if I
we're all
have to
flying to Cabo,
spend
no.
yeah, like if I have to spend thousands of dollars just to attend your wedding, then I feel
Oh
like
yeah.
I'm the gift. Like I'm
Yeah.
not I don't want to spend extra money, or I feel like you could have me or you could have a gift because I can do one
You
or the
can't
other.
get both.
Right.
Either I don't attend and you get a nice little, blender,
Yeah, something
Or
or
like
you
that.
whatever's
get
on the
me.
registry, whatever's cheapest on the registry. I'm like, "Mine, yoink." Swipe the
Right.
card. Get it shipped over to yours. I don't even wanna look at it.
Cheese
You deal with
grater.
the returns.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, I think it was interesting because in my 30s there's a lot of weddings. I didn't go to half of them. I went to weddings in my 20s, and then in my 30s I was just like, okay, I'm done with this. And now in my 40s, I'm kind of like, okay, no one else is getting married. What's going on?
Oh yeah, it's gone down. I
It's
love
gone
it.
down. Now,
People are embracing their
there's
singleness.
a lot of single people out there, man,
That is true. That is
or a
very
lot of
true.
thruples or quadruples.
That is also true, actually.
Yeah.
It's a different wild, wild world.
So Rob, was that the end of your trip, or?
No. We did a day trip from Oslo to Gothenburg. Took the train 4 hours to go there. Had about 6 or 7 hours in Gothenburg, and then did everything that we could do in a short amount of time. Walked up and down the streets. It was horrible weather. In the middle of August, it was probably 10 degrees Celsius. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit. Sorry, but it was cold and rainy and very, very windy. Like people were flying off their bikes. It was
My
bad.
goodness.
My plan was to have a picnic in the park, but the park was like underwater. So we found an abandoned storefront, and our shoes were just like in the middle of in a makeshift river, and we're just like, okay, sandwich time.
Wow.
It's funny.
It was awful, but no, once the rain died down, we walked a bit more. We were drenched, so tried to dry off a bit. It felt like we were in the middle of like some survival in the middle of Alaska series or something. It was just kind of dark, and not dark, but damp and cold, and other people around us, you could tell that they weren't used to it either, and other people were trying to find shelter and stuff, and was like, okay. So but we walked up and down the streets of a neighborhood called Haga, and it was so cute, kind of like Malasaña in Madrid, except nicer.
Mhm.
And it was so cute, that little neighborhood. But obviously a magnet is 15 euros, and
Oh, jeez.
I'm
Oh,
like,
jeez.
okay, no souvenirs. So just walked up and down the street, took a lot of pictures in front of all the monuments, and yeah, I liked it. I think Angel liked it as well. But and then 4 hour train back to Oslo, and yeah, the train was really nice. No delays in the flights or the trains. We really lucked out because August, everyone's traveling. And
Right.
I think there was an outage, not an outage, but I think there was like some type of quote unquote strike going on with Ryanair the day that we were flying. But
Mhm.
no, it was fine. We didn't experience anything, or if we did, I didn't notice it.
Right.
So no, it went swimmingly, but I did plan a lot. So
Mhm.
I think it's because I did all the planning. I had an Excel sheet and a Google Doc, and
Someone's the planner in the family.
Oh, okay.
yes,
Yeah, I was gonna say, clearly you're that guy.
And
I
you're both
was.
planners. I'm a
I
I'm a
was.
half C planner. Anyway.
I mean, I go back and forth with a friend of mine who says, "What's the point of going there if you're only going to be there for a day?" And I'm like, "Well, okay, number 1, I have a real job. So I don't have a fake email digital nomad jobs where I can take a week and enjoy a place. Like I would love to be able to, but I
There's some
don't have
jealousy in
that.
your
So
voice.
I'm a little. I would love to be able to do that,
Well,
but
do it.
it's my reality.
Stopping you.
Well, poverty. I'm not quitting my job in order to travel. Sorry, I don't have that privilege. But when it comes to the way that I travel, yeah, it's short. Yeah, it's intense, but it's the way that I like it, and I maximize my PTO, and
I
you
think
know,
long weekends are the best, 4
yeah.
days, Thursday to a Monday. I
Yeah,
mean,
I
it's
and I was away for 9 days, but I normally do day trips. So I try to
right.
maximize as little amount of
You
time
did
in a
well, you
hotel
did
as
well.
possible,
Yeah.
so
And you
I can
saw
sleep at
different
home.
cultures in a very
Yeah,
short amount of time, which is.
and it's stereotypical American to be like, "Oh, I only have a week off, so I need to see 6 countries in a tour bus throughout Central Europe." Okay, do
Yeah.
it. They get made fun of, but it's sort of like, if that's all you got, that's all you got. You could die next month.
There's just so
So
much to see, and you
there's
have very
so much
few
to
days
That's
of.
see.
true.
And it's not about taking off countries, be like, okay, I'm here, tick it off the list. No, you need to see
Immersion
things,
is the best.
immerse yourself a little bit. I
They
just
were
don't
saying
have
actually
time.
the tourism that's going on now that countries are getting really fucking pissed off of about the over tourism, such as in Barcelona.
Hmm.
It's because it's luxury tourism. It's
Oh yeah.
everyone wants to stay in a 4-star. There's just everyone wants to get picked up in a taxi, and there's just a lot. Their footprint is horrendous. Um, they say the best kind of tourism are the people who stay longer in a certain place, backpackers,
Yeah.
who actually live like the locals, eat at the local places, and don't come in like cicadas,
Hmm.
basically ravishing everything and leaving in a week, a few days, and just leaving tons of things in the background. I mean, and behind,
A lot of destruction in
a
the
lot
wake.
of destruction, yeah, just a lot of just use and abuse kind of situation.
I feel like
Then
that's how I travel for the most part, but
yeah,
I guess the one I mean, I know people have a problem with Airbnb, but I found like a lot of times, like especially like when I've traveled to Europe, I'll rent an Airbnb, but I'll go to the grocery store, or go to the local market and or the farmers market or wherever and buy food, that I can eat, and then I'll go to restaurants in the evening for dinner, but like during the day, have like a breakfast or a lunch, at the Airbnb, and then just kind of explore, you know, at my own pace. I'm definitely not the the minute by minute sort of planner. I'm kind of like I might have an idea of the things that I might want to see, and then I'll just kind of do them whenever. I'm very chill when I travel.
I try to be, but I'm not.
And you know what? That's okay because you have to do what works best for you. Like and if that works best for you, then that's fantastic. Definitely doesn't work for me. Like I
Yeah.
know myself. I'm like, listen, if I literally want to lay and just be lazy and just listen to the city sounds, because obviously where I live I don't really have city sounds, then that's what I'm gonna do. Or if I want to go out and explore, I'm gonna go and explore.
Yeah, I try my best to do things that I wouldn't normally do at home, but
Hmm.
I know going out of your comfort zone is good for personal growth, but
True.
I can only do that on a fixed income, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah,
So,
for sure.
I try my best to do new things, taste new things, see new things, but I'm still scared of heights. So, when it comes to a couple of things, it's like, nope, I'm not doing, bungee jumping. I'm not doing, going across, any of those bridges that are really Instagrammable.
Hmm.
I'm not a big museum person by myself. I'm not a big foodie. I really don't care. So when it comes to other things, if it's pretty, I want to see it. If it's local, I want to try it. If it's iconic, then yeah, I might
if
end
it's
up
the
in a tourist
mirror,
trap. If it's cute, if it's demure, I'm all in.
I mean, for me,
what's the other thing that she says? Demir and
Cutesy,
huh?
cutesy,
No, the other one is
mindful.
mindful.
see, I love like making local friends who can show me things that I would not know or wouldn't know
Yeah,
about, or take me to local places, or just like for like you've seen, like, of course, when I've been to Spain, you took me all around to Spain. You took me all around Madrid, saying, "Okay, we're gonna go here," because I wouldn't know to go to these places. Same with like for a lot of places that I travel, I love to just go where local people go. Like the one time I did do a luxury sort of trip, it was one of my best friends was a partner in his accounting firm, and so he paid for my 30th birthday trip, and we stayed at the Four Seasons in Prague. And I remember like asking, because we actually started making friends with like the people who worked at the hotel, and we were like, okay, where would you go to eat dinner? Like, like we're not trying to go to this five-star restaurant every night for dinner. Where would you go to eat? Because we're not rich like that, and we want to see how like regular people live and eat. And
yeah.
so
There's this thing. you could go, well, let's say when you go to Spain, what you know from Spain is tapas, 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 paella, tapas,
Right.
paella, right?
Right.
But the thing is, people don't eat tapas and paella every day. That's the paella is eaten on
Right.
a Sunday during special occasions.
Normally made at
And
home with
yeah,
family.
and tapas are also kind of like a treat, you know. So you have real food that you make every day. So there's a thing called Menu del Dia in Spain. It's also in France and several other countries. It's kind of like the the prefix menu, where it's 3 course meal, and you can get, like, a bowl of lentils and maybe a fish, and then some, fruit or ice cream afterwards.
Your mic cut out.
Oh, your mic cut out again.
Well, let me explain the menu del dia. Oh, you're
Like
back.
14, 15 euros. Yeah, tell us more about the Menu del Dia, Rob.
Well, when it comes to menu del dia, back in the day, some places used to be 10 euros. Now you'll be lucky if you'll find anything,
15
um,
or
15. But yeah, menu del dia. Sometimes they'll have you can veganize it or vegetarianize something on the menu, but normally it's a set menu of like 5 options for a first dish, 5 options for a main dish, and their normal desserts, which could be any kind of like a cake or um, or like a any type of cream or pudding or fruit. And sometimes the drink is included, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you want an extra drink that won't be included. So,
right.
as if you want to ball on a budget, Menu del Dia, and you don't have any
But people
dietary
don't know about
restrictions,
it
it's
unless
great.
you get out of the touristy areas, because all you see in the touristy areas are tapas and paella, you know.
Yeah.
So like if you actually go where people live, you'll see that they eat this abundant, sustainable, amazing food for cheap, you know,
And this is why you make friends with locals
at bathhouses. Oh,
No.
sorry.
at bathhouses. I was gonna say, I mean, if you want, but
Or
No.
just investigate on Reddit beforehand, because stranger
right.
danger, I don't meet
Stranger
randos.
danger.
No, I just
I mean,
investigate on Reddit beforehand and try to see, okay, people have asked before, hey, I've only got a day in X city. Give me 5 things to do, and double check it on Google Maps, see if those places still exist. But I like doing that. I also use ChatGPT, and I say, hey, I'm going to be in Lleida in Spain for 7 hours
Right.
from this time to that time. Give me the top 10 things to do, and you go through them. Obviously, if you ask for restaurant recommendations, they're going to be old, so they might not exist anymore. So please cross reference with Google Maps, cross reference with Happy Cow, or a refutable website that's updated, maybe TripAdvisor. TripAdvisor could be hit and miss, it's all advertisement. Anyway,
Yeah.
whatever. I like using ChatGPT. I like searching Reddit. Google can be good as well sometimes.
What
So
about that site you use, like $40 to Rome or whatever that crap's called?
Rome to Rio. I
Oh,
love
okay.
Rome to Rio. It's so much better than Google Maps
Right.
sometimes. So if it's like, oh, I want to go to Andorra from Madrid, and I don't have a car. I don't know how to drive. How do I do that? Go to Rome to Rio, and it gives you all the options, which is the best, which is the cheapest, which is the most convenient. And it
Right.
might be fly, it might be take 2 trains, it might be take a bus, and then this and that, the other. So it gives
Mhm.
you options, and then you cross-reference those options with a YouTube video, and then you look it up, and you're like, oh,
Right.
okay, so this is what the ferry from this place to that place looks like. Okay, so now I see what it looks like. I see where the ticket office is, and I'll try to look it up when I'm there. Be like, oh, okay, it's all in Greek. I have no idea what it is. Okay, so it looks familiar. So looking things up on YouTube, because there's so much travel content out there. Maybe even do TikTok, but yet again, that's all ads. Be
Would you
careful, it
do
might be a
this
tourist
when
trap.
you travel? Do you start speaking to everyone in the only foreign language you know? So, Germany was the first country I went to that wasn't Spain, because my family's originally from Spain. I speak Spanish. So my foreign language was French that I learned in high school. The only thing is, when I went to Germany, I started answering in French because that's, that was for me, it was a foreign language. Or am I just
I've
the only
never done
silly
that.
one?
I've never done
No,
that.
no.
No.
I took
So,
years of French in middle school and high school, and when I went to Germany, I I spoke English. I now when I amusingly the last time I was in Spain, I went to a monastery
mhm,
and ran into some French people. Now I hadn't spoken French in years, but I attempted to because they were trying to take a group picture, and I was like I tried to say, "Let me take the pic. Can I take their picture for you?" But they understood, and so luckily I helped them take their picture, and then later on they took a picture of me and my friends. um but I realize, of course, it is totally like one of those situations where, if you don't use it you lose it, because
right.
years ago I could have easily asked someone, can I would you like me to take your picture, and now I'm like, I don't know, because I haven't had to speak French in years. So
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, as a default thing, your mind automatically goes to, "Oh, I'm in a foreign place, let me talk in a foreign language." Even
y-
if it's
you
a
know
until you realize, "Oh, wait, I just said merci
for the
in
most
Germany."
part, before I
Or do you go right
traveled
to
to a
English?
well, before I travel to a country, like if I've had enough time, I try to learn a few basic words so that they can at least see that I'm trying. So like, like I remember, like, before going to Germany, I learned like what the flight attendants, when they asked me like, what do I want to drink on the plane, I was like, ooh, I'm probably gonna want apple juice. So I learned how to say apple juice in German, so, and then when I did, it just totally impressed them. Like they were like,
Yeah,
ah,
they love it.
so I feel like if you could try to learn a few basic words, or like if I feel like if the people see that you're trying, they're more likely to help you.
Yeah,
Because
and you'll be a part of their, you know
right, like even in the Czech Republic, like when I was just kind of like, I obviously I don't speak Czech, but I asked. I said, how do I say this? Because I'm going to encounter people, so how do I say thank you and things like that?
right.
And everyone was really kind of cool. They were like, oh, this is how you'd say it. You say it like this. And so most countries are really friendly and helpful. But I will say, like, for the most part, like where I've met people who have actually, some of them have become like now lifelong friends, actually from certain gay apps. I have if I know I'm going somewhere, a lot of them you can reach out and say, hey, I'm gonna be in your town. Can you give me any suggestions as to places to go, and things like that. And
But then you have to
um,
do them when you get there, or you
you
just
don't have to know. That is
alright.
not a requirement. I was like, that is, you're an adult. If you want to, then you two can have that conversation, but not a requirement.
Right.
No. Yeah. Like
That would make, like, TripAdvisor have a whole different meaning. It would be like, "My gay TripAdvisor."
yeah,
Yassified TripAdvisor.
yeah. Like one of my really good friends who lives in Berlin, I met, yeah, it's been almost 20 years um since since we first met online.
Right,
And I was like, I'm coming to Berlin. Can you tell me? Can you help me? Like, can you tell me
right.
anything about it? I was like, I don't know anything about it. And so yeah. Um,
Well, you can make friends in so many different environments.
oh yeah, for sure,
Alright, well,
for sure.
last thing for today's show, let's talk about something that's a downgrade, but it's really an upgrade. So today, I walked past this storefront that were selling these Casio watches.
Ooh.
And, I have an iWatch. I love iWatch.
Apple Watch.
Is
Apple
that what it's
Watch.
called? Apple
Yes,
Watch?
Yeah.
yes.
All right. I call it iWatch. So I guess that's wrong.
Yep.
I have an Apple Watch. And, I like wearing it for the most part. But lately, okay, let's be honest. I lost the charger. like the cable to it.
Skill issue.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna buy another one. So it's been a week I haven't been able to wear it. And now it's been a little bit liberating not having a watch, especially a watch that tells you everything about you, your heart rate, all that jazz. And then when I was walking past this, I kind of got, I don't know, like a 1992 feel. I said, why don't I just get like a normal watch that just tells me the time, you know? And I stepped into this place, and the guy was very nice. And there was a selection of Casio watches. You know, I used to have, I still have some. Um, the well, not the swatches. I used to be really into collecting swatches. Anyway, so the Casio watches, they were like $29, $50, $40, and they were really cute. So I got one that was literally $29, and I've been sporting it all day. So it's a downgrade, but in my heart, I think it's an upgrade. Give me something that you've downgraded but is really an upgrade lately. And don't say your ex.
Matt,
I was gonna say I I don't
Kamala
know.
Harris. Trying to think. I don't. I like Casio watches. I think they're timeless. I think they're
It's great.
classic. I think. Remember how Swatch stores used to be everywhere, and
Yes.
Yeah,
now you can't find one to save your life.
you
I don't
can't.
know what
Yeah.
happened to Swatch.
Yeah, I don't
They
know.
No.
started getting a little pricey. They were like
Oh
over,
gosh, they were at least 70 euros a pop. The
yeah,
cheapest
like
one was
70, 80.
70, and the plastic didn't last that long, but maybe that's why. I
No,
don't know. Allegedly. Um,
allegedly.
don't come for me, Casio, Swatch fans. No, I'm Team Casio here. Actually, I'm Team Apple Watch.
I
I wear
like
my Apple
Casio.
Watch every day.
Listen, I like
Same
the
here.
iWatch, whatever you call it.
It's the Apple
Um,
Watch.
okay, it's the
It's
Apple
been
Watch.
out for almost 10
So
years.
what's
I
iWatch?
know.
What's the iWatch?
It's you probably watching boys walk down the street. I don't know.
Yeah. Get her,
That's
Jade.
Right.
James made it funny. Oh,
It
geez.
Yes.
was like,
Well,
no. Actually, so
they have everything. iPhone, iTunes. Why not an iWatch?
I because
I
that
think we
just
should
sounds
change it.
weird.
We should
That
call
sounds
him.
weird.
We should call Tim over there and tell him
You know, I was gonna
you
say, you know, the
did a
reason why
marketing boo boo.
why I started wearing an Apple Watch was because I work in
Did you want an
healthcare.
apple juice?
No, I was gonna say I work in healthcare, and my company at the time basically we could earn money by doing like 10,000 steps a day. Like it was literally like every
Oh,
like
gee.
quarter you could get like $250
Yeah.
extra.
Yeah, my
You know,
sister does that. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I kept like they gave us these like really unreliable pedometers. And so finally I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna one of my friends worked at Apple and he had an Apple Watch that he no longer wanted. And so I just bought his off of him. And then it was like, oh, this is actually really cool. It's recording my steps. And so that's and of course it synced up to the app that my company used. So I was like, I don't have to go in manually, say, oh, I did these steps and things like that. It was great. So since then, I've just always had one,
Right.
which is great. So
I
and it
think a
also
good I think a good downgrade that I did recently was going back to corded, cabled headphones for my iPad when I travel, especially if you're sharing your screen with someone. I think it's really useful to just to have instead of using the cableless Apple AirPods, iPods? No, that was a different product.
I was before I got my iPhone, I loved it was the iTouch, I guess. Is that what it was?
yeah, it was like
Uh,
it looks just like the iPhone, but it does it, but it's
But it had
basically
no
just a music
cellular.
player,
yeah.
right?
Right. I
Yeah.
had that and I loved it, and I loved the idea of having the phone separate than all the fun gadgets. I really did.
No,
And
I
I
was
had
gonna
that for
say
a couple years.
my iPod has the wheel.
Yep,
Oh, that's
I
great.
remember that.
I'm literally looking at it right now. It's sitting right here.
And it still works.
It still works.
So how do
Yeah.
you get music into it now?
Oh, I don't. I haven't put like I mean, I guess I technically could
You could
connect it to
probably.
my computer and hook it up and but I don't actually play it a lot.
Right.
One day I saw it sitting there and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I think it's dead." And then I was like, "It's not coming on." So I, just charged it and I've literally just leave it on the charger and so yeah, it'll work. I like to
Yeah,
listen to
these
it.
things
Obviously,
work.
there of course there's no Bluetooth, so it doesn't connect to any Bluetooth speakers. So you have to put your headphones on,
Oh.
actual
Well,
corded
that's
headphones. So
so much
yeah,
better.
yeah,
It's a downgrade, but it's an upgrade.
yeah. Like see, but for me, I don't like I haven't downgraded because all the stuff that I have that's kind of like that, if I buy something, I just use it until it dies.
Right.
Yeah, buy
You
it for
know.
life. Yeah.
Exactly. Like once it's dead, then I'm like, okay, either I'm gonna replace it with something that's bigger or better, or in the case
Yeah,
of
the
my
sad thing though
car,
is now the software just makes things
It breaks
obsolete.
it. Yeah.
yeah,
But even though
exactly.
the actual gadget can last another 10 years.
Yeah,
Planned obsolescence. Capitalism's
yes.
gonna capitalism.
Yeah. So every
Yeah, you
now
gotta
and then it's nice to like listen to the songs on my iPod because it's like a time capsule. It's just like,
it is.
man, like these are the songs I was listening to
And you
in
still enjoy them.
2004, Oh
They're
yeah.
timeless. Yeah,
Oh
they're
yeah, for
timeless.
sure. For
A lot of
sure.
show tunes.
There's a wide variety of stuff on there. There really is.
Destiny's Child.
I mean, it was like
Oh,
20
we
years,
love
so
the
there's
late
some Destiny's
90s.
Child on there. There's some Destiny's Child on there.
This wraps up another episode of The Aging Queen. We'll be back next week with Dr. Kristen speaking about mental health. Hope you guys can join us. Had a lovely session with you guys. Thank you, James and Robbie.
Yeah.
Thanks for
And
having us.
we'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.